Hey there, it's Haley. Today I am 6 months post-op open cystectomy and urostomy surgery. Since the last 3-month update video I posted, I have had so much fun. I genuinely thought that I was finished with recovery from my urostomy surgery. I had hydronephrosis, sure, but after I had finished antibiotics, I was okay, and doctors just wanted to watch my kidneys. Aside from daily occasional kidney pains, I was living mostly pain-free and was having a blast. I got back into my yoga asana practice on my mat and became more confident in moving around and laying on my stomach in stoma and the bag as well. And used my off-road chair a lot outside. After 4 months post-op, I went to a concert, celebrated Halloween, and even went to Disneyland, which I did vlog my experience, so make sure to check that one out. At the 5 months post-op mark, I went to Yosemite National Park and a zoo. So that was also super, super fun. And I'll probably make a video in the future about it. I genuinely asked myself if everything was up from here. Maybe I was finally stable, but my medical PTSD actually kept my expectations pretty low, which worked out in my favor when everything went to shit once again in a series of rather unfortunate events. At about 4 months post-op, I went to the ER for kidney pain and had another ultrasound confirming I still had hydronephrosis, or swelling of the kidney. About 5 months post-op, the hydro caused a kidney infection, which it does, and went to the ER and was admitted for sepsis.
Hey, so it was actually nothing. I got myself all worked up for nothing. It was a really disgusting sensation. Like, it felt like he had stuck his finger in my intestines and was just like stirring the pot. It's kind of like stirring my intestines around. It's just a really gross feeling, but it's not painful at all, thank God. It sounds like I'm gonna have to be evaluated at Stanford, though, for my hydronephrosis, because it is worse, unfortunately. So I just don't feel good at all right now, but yeah.
For 6 days. I went home for 1 day and night and then was rushed back the next day. I had gotten septic again and was admitted for another 6 days on IV antibiotics.
So 5 years to this day, I had my first ever central line surgery. My first ever central line was a port, and then I've gone on to have many more. I think I've had 3 ports, 2 PICC lines, an ART line, and I've had a bunch of like neck IVs too. Not that that really counts as a central line, but it's just ironic that I'd be spending the anniversary of that in the hospital. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that I've been on daily IV infusions for 5 years now. Very grateful. It's come with a lot of headache, but I literally wouldn't be here without it. So I think it's so cool that we have modern medicine. Like, I'm so glad to have been born when I was born. So yeah, 5 years.
The following day, after I was discharged from that 6-day stay, I went to my urology doctor office and I was told to drive to my specialist's ER because I would go septic again since my hydronephrosis wasn't resolved yet. We were advised that my local hospitals were not equipped to help me and that I was in a very dangerous place medically. They said, pack your bags and drive, so we did. We got to the ER late that night, where a surgeon attempted and failed to catheterize my stoma past where the blockage was. I was diagnosed with stenosis and admitted for another kidney infection for 4 days. I was out for 6 days before developing severe kidney pain and had to be rushed back to the ER. My worst nightmare happened, but I was pleasantly surprised how well I handled it mentally. I was admitted for 3 days and had emergency surgery awake with only anxiety and pain medication to place 1 pigtail nephrostomy tube in my back to decompress my kidney.
So here she is, Mrs. Red.
Recording me with double chin or something.
Mrs. Red. It is 8:40, and Dominican was awesome and let me come in after visiting hours.
Got my kidney bag.
There's her kidney bag, and it's only on 1, so that's good, not 2.
Just 1 this time.
How are you currently feeling?
I think I want morphine.
All right. Well, it's over, and we're taking it day by day. We have no idea what tomorrow holds.
This is gonna be my buddy until the 27th. 27th is the actual emergency surgery. Happy Christmas Eve! I am hopefully getting out of here. The doctor is hopefully discharging me, assuming my labs are okay. I had a mental breakdown last night because they told me that I couldn't use my line anymore, and I have 0 IV access, and no one was available to place a neck IV. So I went for a long time without my IV medications, which sucked, because I was on IV morphine and Benadryl. But yeah, I'm getting out of here, and the doctor agreed with me that it's unnecessary to replace my line. So happy Christmas Eve.
So I have a nephrostomy tube once again, but only on the left side. And yeah, actually I recovered pretty quickly from that. I was admitted for 3 days only and had basically no pain when I was discharged, just like minor discomfort from having a tube in your kidney, obviously. But the universe was nice and gave me a break over the New Year's. Just checked in to our hotel. We'll be here until we move into our apartment downtown. And I'm back in my power chair. Life is good again. I can't wait to drive my power chair around town tomorrow. And got right back into yoga asana on my mat. I did notice that yoga tends to break down my bag's adhesive a bit faster, so I do have to change my bags more often when I practice. And the rainbow to the storm was that in the thick of all that chaos, my mom and stepdad decided that it wasn't safe for me to come back home to their house, where the hospitals weren't equipped to help me, especially due to them being very overwhelmed and over capacity. So we hotel hopped while shopping for an apartment where I'm from. My parents and sister packed and moved for me. How did I get so lucky? Only 9 days into the new year, I checked in for surgery.
Hopefully losing the kidney tube today.
Outpatient. I had a retrograde nephrostogram where they use my nephrostomy tube and contrast to find where the blockage or stricture is. And they found it on my left ureter where it meets my ileal conduit urostomy. Basically, they put contrast up my nephrostomy tube to find where the blockage is, and they found it in the anastomosis is what they call it. They converted my pigtail nephrostomy to an NUS, or a nephroureteral stent, and did a ureteroplasty, which just opened up my ureter, I guess. I woke up in pretty severe pain, so they kept me in the PACU all day to give me IV pain medications, and later that night I got to go home and spent my first night in our new apartment. The next day I was still in severe pain and developed a fever, so I was taken by the woo-woo to the ER and admitted for another kidney infection. While there, the hospital tried to transfer me to my specialist's hospital, but they didn't have any beds.
I was telling everyone that I thought I had a kidney infection, and everyone was like, no, it doesn't look like you have a kidney infection. The doctor just came in and said that I grew citrobacter. I don't know, I have a kidney infection. It's confirmed.
My fever was pretty bad at 103.9. As soon as they got it under control with IV Tylenol, they recommended that I leave and drive to my specialist's hospital, which is now only an hour away for me.
Let's just hope the next hospital can care for her. And let's hope she fights this kidney infection quickly.
Before it was like a 4-hour drive on average. But yeah, after I left, we drove straight to the ER, and I was admitted within 5 minutes of me rolling in, so that was kind of nice. In the hour it took to drive there, my fever already returned. I was there for another 4 days on IV antibiotics around the clock.
Good morning. I'm kind of, last night I had a thought. How funny would it be if, you know, how like in shows and movies, how there's like a sign and it's like days since like accident, or like days since crisis, and then usually it's like 0 because it's funny. I was kind of thinking I should have like a days since hospital or ER admission. Like, my goal this year is to spend less time in the hospital than I did last year.
And got to go home on 3 antibiotics. I had some time to settle into my new apartment and get outside, edit this video, and just breathe. However, my kidneys have been hurting since they got better, but today it is once again difficult to take a deep breath, which isn't great, especially because my right kidney has really no reason to be hurting. So I'm hoping that I'm not getting hydro on that side now. In the last 3 months, I had the occasional blowout leak, but I've been mostly okay. My skin looks super good, the peristomal skin, and I've learned to not trust seatbelts or yoga pants, which, seeing as how I live and breathe in yoga pants, led me to having to buy new clothes. I also had gained about 30 pounds throughout this entire bladder failure process, but I'm hopeful that once I have a streak of better health, I can return to being more active and can get back to my happy weight. I am just really worried about not fitting in my wheelchair anymore. I don't know if you can tell, but there is pretty much no space in between my side guards and my wheels. As far as supplies go, I briefly went back to clear Hollister bags since I need to keep an eye on my stoma. But then I was telling my ostomy nurse how I prefer Coloplast, so she ordered me clear Coloplast bags so that I can better monitor my stoma and my output. I'll show you my new supply setup since I did move. This is something I always leave the house with. It lives in my wheelchair, but it's an emergency bag change kit. My bedroom, I have this med cart and I have an ostomy bag change kit. This has a bunch of tissue in it. Got my stoma genies that have made bag changes so much easier. And then also my bags, yada yada. And then in this front pocket here, I have my little collection of ostomy bag covers. They have this little hole that you stuff your bag into, and a little pocket down here, but it hides your bag so that, you know, if you want to roll around with your bag out, it just covers it so people can't see your stoma or your pee. And here in my bedroom, underneath all these beautiful ladies, my other personalities, I have my stoma stuff. So in this bag, I have the non-see-through bags, my ostomy scissors that are extras, my barriers, adhesive wipes, or skin prep, whatever you call them. And then in this bag, I have all of my see-through bags and extra adhesive. As you can see, these are see-through. I just love the feeling of being completely stocked with supplies. I have these like trash bags. I took these from the hospital. They're like super soft tissue gauze thingies. Then I have all my stoma genies, which love them. Then I have all my night bags, pee pads, obviously, and then day bags, which I honestly never even wear. I don't really like the look of them. All in all, I'm only 6 months out from my original urostomy surgery. My surgeon warned me that it would be a very difficult year. I'm glad that in between all the chaos, I've had more good times. Being so close to dying all the time just makes me wake up every day and want to spend the day either making a difference or enjoying my day, no matter how my health looks like that day. I absolutely do not regret surgery. It didn't cause the nephrosis. I already had hydronephrosis before too, but hopefully they can fix it. Interestingly, my kidney doctor says that Gittleman's, which is my genetic rare kidney condition, which is like probably the reason for everything, that causes hydronephrosis as well. So I just hope that my health continues to improve from here and I stop having near-death experiences and constant back-to-back surgeries where I have to go under general anesthesia. I cannot thank my nurses and doctors enough. Truly wouldn't be alive without them or my family taking care of me. I hope that if you're watching this, my experience gives you hope that even though urostomy surgery recovery is absolute hell, that there could be plenty of joy and love during your recovery too. Sending you so much love.
Just took my last antibiotic doses. I was on Cipro, Augmentin, and metronidazole or Flagyl, and kidneys still not happy. But going in on Tuesday to have my nephrostomy tubes hopefully flipped upside down. But yeah, hopefully they can take the tube out of my back and then flip it upside down so that the tubes are coming out my stoma instead, because stomas are pretty much painless. You can't feel pain on your stoma, so they say. So yeah, hopefully they can get this damn tube out of my back.